Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I don't, he was saying about how it says that Allah has hardened people's hearts so that they can't believe in him and all that. And it also says that in the Bible too about God. It says that he's hardened the unbeliever's heart, so it's made him impossible to believe, which is kind of ridiculous because it's like even if you wanted to, you couldn't. So how is that fair? Um, but yeah, I mean, so there's parallels there between those, but basically it's just a matter of how much are you going to own your beliefs? Are you going to stick to them? How literal are you going to take it? I honestly don't know that much about how Muslims or Islam or there's different sects obviously, and I don't know how they vary in their teachings. Because with Christianity they really focus on the New Testament. They kind of make excuses for the Old Testament and kind of have apologetics arguments to try to explain away those things. So I don't know how it's presented, but obviously there is a large percentage of Muslims that think that all those things are justified even today, which is just crazy. And the craziest thing to me is that these religions, whether it's Christianity or Islam, they believe that for non-believers, most people pretty much like your ticket to heaven is believing in their God. And so any non-believers when they die are going to go to hell and suffer for eternity. And so the most amazing part about that is they already believe you're going to be punished by their God for eternity, and yet they're so impatient. They can't wait for you to die. They have to do it themselves. Like if they can't convert you to their belief system, then they're going to kill you and then make their God punish you forever. So it's like, they just can't wait for you to die in 20 or 30 years. They're going to do it right now. So it's nuts. Like, why can't they just wait for their God to do it and be okay with that? Like, oh yeah, we know they're going to be punished forever. It's just whatever. But no, they want to force their beliefs on you. And yeah, I mean, just getting back to some of the stuff you were talking about, absolutely, it's, we have to condemn all this stuff because whether or not people, stick to it and they literally adhere to it, which obviously in the Muslim world they do a lot more than Christians do with the Old Testament. But at any rate, that stuff in there is just abhorrent. It's terrible. It's clearly just primitive men just, forcing their crazy beliefs about women and sex and slaves and things like that. They clearly viewed people as property. They had no problem owning slaves and killing your slave if you killed one of theirs. They treated women like property. Marriage was all about owning a woman, and obviously another thing with religion too is propagating the religion, and you can do that by having many children. So when you're marrying a child at 6 years old and having sexual relations with them as soon as they've reached the age of puberty, it's like you're immediately trying to produce as many children as possible. So it's all about propagating the belief system. It's all about propagating the religion, and it's just insane to me that people in today's day and age can actually stick to this stuff. But I think it's a lot cultural and it's a lot socio-political. It depends where you live, because living in the United States, we have a far more enlightened view of things than people tend to in third world countries, and that's where a lot of the Muslim countries are third world countries. So they have this backwards view of things still, and they haven't come to realize that things don't have to be that way. And I kind of cover that. I touched on that in a video that I did called "Own Your Beliefs or Discard Them." Because basically, if Christians owned their beliefs and actually, didn't make excuses for the Old Testament and all the stuff in there, then they'd be, looking like Westboro Baptist Church, or they'd be going to prison for, adhering to some of those things. And pretty much, a lot of Christians are able to use their modern sensibilities to kind of pass off on those things and be like, no, we don't believe that. But a lot of Muslims who live in a lot less enlightened areas of the world and less educated areas of the world, they still stick to that stuff. And, that's why we have to continue speaking out against it, because it's just awful.